this week made me a bit sad. This week I decided to watch a movie that I already know I like. It's from Thailand and it's called Tom Yum Goong. It's also called Warrior King. It's also called The Protector, and IMDb don't seem to even know what this film is, because they describe it as an action, crime, drama thriller, whereas in reality, it's a martial arts movie with some comedy elements. For example, there's a scene in the film where some massive Australians throw a squealing baby elephant through a window. So tense drama thriller doesn't really match this film as a description. On rewatching this film, it felt a lot like a Jackie Chan movie to me, and I think that's what they were going for when they made it. I also tend to like foreign language movies. It's like a window into other cultures. You get to see their humour and traditions without actually having to go to the country. You get to see them on their terms, and sometimes it can be very surprising, sometimes very odd, sometimes beautiful, and sometimes it's Hong Kong movies where the comedy mostly seems to be a guy with unfeasibly large prosthetic teeth. And rewatching it, the martial arts scenes were just as good as I remember them being. I mean, just look at this. This scene may be my favourite in the whole film. A showdown with some bad guys in a burning Buddhist temple, surprisingly good cinematography, and a hell of a display of martial arts talent. I see so many bad fight scenes with actors who have little to no training that watching something of this quality is just joyful. The problem can be that trained martial artists don't always make the best actors. It's maybe an advantage of masked superhero films in that you can have a trained actor and then have a trained stand-in for the fight sequences. And it stands apart for me because it's rare to have martial arts films based around Thai boxing. Well, kind of. It seems that the lead actor Tony Jaa has trained in an older form of Thai boxing, something called Muay Baran, that features joint locks, joint strikes and a more extensive range of throws. And if you want to watch some fine Thai boxing, there's a lot up on YouTube. One Championship, Rod Tang vs Superlek, you can thank me later, and I think I like martial arts movies maybe more than the average person does. And I have done maybe since the first time I watched Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. So why did this film make me sad? Well, I did remember the plot not being great, and I remember the comedy not landing as well as a Jackie Chan movie tends to. In terms of why I say the story for this film isn't great, as an example, during that scene in the temple, multiple bad guys are there to take out the hero, but for some unknown reason, they wait and all take him on one-on-one. And this movie made me sad because rewatching it this time around, I found that I didn't like the film as much as I remember I did, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe I was just in the wrong mood for the movie. Maybe it just isn't as good with repeat watchings. Or maybe I watched a different version of the film this time, because it's a Thai film, and I don't remember last time there being a credit for Harvey Weinstein at the beginning of it. The story seems to be that the Weinstein Company made a cut-down version of the film for the American market. Another thing I didn't remember was that the film starts with almost 20 minutes of scene setting. Almost 20 minutes of Thai people talking about how much they love elephants. And rewatching that opening, I can only describe my mood while waiting for the first action sequence as this.
When are they gonna get to the fireworks factory?
Also in places, the CGI in this film is horrific, and I don't mean a bit shaky and off-putting like some of the stuff in Disney Marvel's She-Hulk or Daredevil Reborn. I mean CGI in dream sequences that looks like it comes from the 1980s. The film also has quite strong themes of Thai nationalism, but I really didn't find it that offensive. The message of the film could maybe be summed up as Thai people like peace, but don't like other countries and people taking liberties. They also take a very dim view of elephant theft. The film opens up with a young Thai boy called Cam and his father. They seem to be part of a group of traditional warriors who keep war elephants for the Thai king. So Cam grows up with his father's massive bull elephant, Por Yai, and trains in martial arts. Por Yai has a child called Korn, and they love the elephants, but poachers are after them. There's a local water festival in which the elephants are to be presented to representatives of the king, but it's really just the poachers, who hurt the father and steal the elephants. I just saved you 20 full minutes. The film then gets good. Cam tracks down the poachers somehow, shouts, "Where are my elephants?" in Thai, and then knees the elephant thieves into oblivion. But the elephants are already long gone, so Cam now has to go to Australia to try and get his elephants back, which mostly involves him storming into places, shouting, "Where are my elephants?" and then kneeing everyone into fragments. He gets on the trail of a Vietnamese gangster called Johnny, who supposedly was the man who was in receipt of the stolen elephants, and out of nowhere he just gets attacked by an Australian roller skate gang trying to hit him with what strongly appear to be fluorescent lighting tubes. The gang are not in the film either before or after this scene. One by one, Cam knees his way through the entire criminal organisation. The criminal gang are up to all sorts of nasty stuff, including trafficking young Thai women, and it's kind of hard to stress quite how many people get kneed by Tony Jaa in this film. He rescues Korn, the baby elephant, from a restaurant where he and a host of exotic animals were on the menu. A lot of the things that happen in this film seem very random. Why did the bad guys just burn down a Buddhist temple? I don't know. Why is there a Brazilian capoeira fighter attacking Cam, and where did he come from? I have absolutely no idea. Cam then knees Johnny repeatedly and tracks down Rose, the head of the Chinese criminal family, who has turned the bull elephant Por Yai into a decorative skeletal room ornament. Cam then fights Rose and an army of henchmen and knees Rose, the crime boss, off of a helicopter. And his fall is cushioned by the skeleton of Por Yai. He ends up lying on the tusks like he did in the opening as a child when the elephant was still alive. Cam then goes home with the baby window elephant. So despite being sad, I still like this movie, because I don't like predictable things, and in 100 years I'm not sure I would have guessed that the film would feature several massive Australians throwing a baby elephant through a window. One of the massive Australians is even Nathan Jones from the Mad Max movies. He was also in Troy with Brad Pitt for about 30 seconds.